Hey guys, Lux Capital here. Just wanted to do a weekly recap today since I forgot to hit the record button all week. Really sucks, but so I don't even have watching live recordings of watching those trades or anything. I was gonna make shorts and clips, but whatever. So I recorded today's trade, so I'll put that in this video, and I'll just recap the previous trades. So it was actually a pretty good week this week. Really happy with it. So the first thing we're going to start with, I'll try to keep this video quick, but the first thing we're going to start with is on Monday I did take a couple losses. Trying to short right away. As we can see, we took out some higher liquidity, some buy side, which was in the New York morning session. We took out London's highs, and we did start to come down, but I didn't see much of an entry. There actually was a decent entry on this fair value gap here. I don't know why I didn't take that. I'm not really sure, and unfortunately don't remember a ton about Monday. But nonetheless, it came down and took out a whole bunch of sell side and then retraced, and I was like, all right, let's go short. I think because on its way down, if I remember correctly, on its way down, it didn't really make any solid market structure shifts until here, but it was already so far down, so I'm not surprised it came back up again on me. So whatever, small loss there, 3 some handles, just trading micro, so it wasn't crazy or anything, but loss there. And then it started to curl around into the afternoon session, and I thought, okay, maybe we'll dig a little lower and take out some of this other liquidity down here that's relatively equal lows, but as we broke down, it faked out and ran higher. And that end of day macro, or whatever this is, end of day manipulation is what I like to call it, because I think it's crap. That 5 minutes before market close, they like to spike it in a random direction. So that's always frustrating, in my opinion, but some of you may have caught on and are able to catch those last minute trades. So anyway, Monday, a couple small losses. I wasn't too worried about it, not too big of a deal. Tuesday, had a good short here. Actually went short all week, believe it or not. It was quite a bearish week, and we had some really good bearish runs and entries, but I don't have a model. I'd have a reversal model. So since we're so bearish, we end up taking out London's highs every morning, and I look for a reversal off of a point of liquidity like that. So we didn't take sell side liquidity at all the entire week. I had no basis following my model to go long. There are many other strategies that totally had awesome longs this entire week, and we're going to be learning that and trying to figure something out to be able to do that. We want to find a reversal model and more of a continuation / trending model of some kind, so we can get into trades that don't take the opposing liquidity first. Anyway, so here we did take out London highs again. We did take out some equal lows that are relatively short term. And oh, I remember this one. I don't have it. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit here. So here's what I don't have on the chart. There was a new week opening gap right here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was a new week opening gap up here. So what happened was we took out London highs and consolidated a bit, but we did market structure shift. So now I'm thinking a setup is possible. We've got a order block. We left a fair value gap. Normally my stop loss is just above this order block, which would have gotten stopped out. But I saw we had equal highs here, and there was a new week opening gap up here, which I don't have on the chart right now. But this wick came right into consequent encroachment almost perfectly, if I remember right. So anyways, because I saw the new week opening gap so close, equal highs here, like those are going to get wicked. So my stop loss should at least be above that. How far? Let's go to the top of the new week opening gap just to be safe, right? if it's going to bust through that new week opening gap, it's probably going to keep running bullish anyway. So that's where my logic told me to put it, even though it strayed from my rules a little bit. So I did do that. You can see the executions are here. I didn't get stopped out up here. I sold here and it came up and went down, and I bought back here. So all legit. But my entry was on this fair value gap, if I remember right. Nope, on the order block, and brought it all the way down to this fair value gap. I was shooting for these lows, but I saw this fair value gap, and then I think I saw something on dollar that looked like it was going to reverse, so I took it there. But my TP was actually for the London lows. I'm pretty sure these were London lows. So anyway, that was Tuesday. Really nice grab. It would have been sweet to see it just bust all the way, but it did retrace a little bit and then took out my TP. So that kind of sucked to see, to deal with psychologically, but just trust your setup, trust the draw, and be patient, and it'll pan out. Another good example of that today. I'll show you guys, but patience is the key. So here's CPI day. There's actually several models that I found in hindsight that would have gotten me into this. I don't think I will ever trade CPI, but it's always fun to analyze hindsight. Caveat is my current broker doesn't let me place a trade before 9, so I couldn't have done it anyway. Hopefully that'll change soon. I'm thinking about changing brokers. But anyways, CPI came up and started curling around, and eventually did break kind of messy market structure here, and then came back to an order block with a fair value gap inside. Now I do believe it left that fair value gap. It's pretty small anyway, and traded right off of the order block. You can see my little arrow there. Right at the low of the order block is where I had my limit. This picture actually shows my limit as a tick high, but whatever. You can see it. Well, 451,950 is right there, right at the line of the order block. So I took that. Since it was CPI day, I was already going to take half the position I normally do. And I decided, since it's CPI day and we just had this massive move, I'm just going to throw one micro in there and see if it moves my direction, which is what I did. Once it broke below these bullish candles, that became an order block. So there was also a fair value gap that formed here, which is hard to see through all of this drawing and shit. There we go. There was a fair value gap there too. It was much larger when this candle opened, so it started coming into it and filled about half of it. And so hit the button right at the low of that order block, right at the low of that fair value gap. Consequent encroachment is what it was at the time that this candle had opened. It filled about half of it, tapped the order block just to the tick. So I put on another one. Like, it looks like it's going to run in my favor, so I put another. Took it to these equal lows. Original TP was down here, but again, I was not feeling as confident because of CPI, so I took the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, and I bought my two back at 45.06. You can see the little, when I hover over this, you can see the arrow like right up here at the bottom of the position tool. So I took it there. Came down a little more, but I didn't really do much more than that, so I didn't miss out on a ton here. I'm really happy with this nice chunk. So that was CPI day. And today. So today, actually, I think even yesterday, we started coming up into some high time frame PD arrays. This in particular is I think it's a liquidity void. Obviously, I transposed this. This isn't lining up with anything. I transposed this from another chart at these levels. It's either a volume imbalance or a liquidity void on the weekly level. From this low to the top of this shaded area, this is actually consequent encroachment of that PD array, but I was only interested in the lower half. Oops. It actually comes up further here. Like I said, this high is actually consequent encroachment, which it respected very nicely. So we came up into this void here and rejected really well, and there wasn't any entry in that, so that's okay. What I was looking for is a break in market structure, which got kind of weird because this is the consumer sentiment news candle, and it wicked really low, lower than any of the other ones. NASDAQ didn't wick below any lows at all, and I don't really look at Dow because it's the weird one out of the three. So that one was kind of weird. I decided to just make that the market structure shift level, which it did very well. Anyways, but I was kind of, paying attention to maybe that candle or that candle. Nonetheless, it definitely displaced down without really retracing much. It did not leave a bullish candle on that run at all. So I trusted that. It came into and to the tick 1 hour fair value gap. As you can see on the right here, I keep a 1 hour chart in view at all times just so I can get a little bit of a higher time frame snippet of how things are reacting. So it reacted off of that, had a nice wick back up, and at this point I was following dollar, NASDAQ, and the ES all very closely, bouncing between the two. I actually sat on the screen for the dollar for a long time, just watching it. You'll see that in the execution video that I'll append to this video. I actually kind of just sit on dollar and watch it and see what it does, because I know how that's going to react for ES. They were all very correlated well today. When ES went down and Q went down, and dollar went up, and dollar did some consolidation, but ES continued to trim lower and lower and lower and lower, which was nice. It didn't also consolidate, so that part was good. But anyways, we shifted, so we did that. We reverted, came all the way back up to this fair value gap, which I honestly didn't think it was going to do, because right here it hit some pretty hard. We had 10 minutes of no movement, but it took it, which is also back into the void, this blue shaded area. So that was really great. I barely had any drawdown, a couple of ticks. I don't even think it was, maybe 1 point of drawdown. Very nice. I took my full 2% risk on this trade, and off it went. It was very slow. It was a very long, over an hour trade of just watching it come down a little bit, retrace, come down a little bit, retrace, and so on and so forth. It was a very slow drag, a lot of resistance all the way down. There's little order blocks in here. There's no fair value gaps to help draw it down. We already filled the hour one, and there's a big blocky block right here. I don't know if that's a real order block or not, but it looks like a solid brick wall to me. But it panned out. Yeah, really nice trade. I had hoped and originally thought maybe we'd come down to this low or this low for a nice Friday retracement, but that might come later in the afternoon. It didn't want to give it to us. These are pretty equal now, so I'm sure the afternoon will target these at some point, but it didn't want to give it to us, and that's fine. I took what I could. Again, a large majority of this, it only came down another couple of points, and I'm okay with taking out the majority chunk. I don't need the top. I got pretty close, but I don't need the top and I don't need the bottom. I do just really feel good about the trades this week. We took a nice chunk out of the markets, all in the opposite direction of the trend, but that's what I have, is a reversal model. So, and it does work very well. And overall, 3 green days, 1 red, and it far outweighed that red day. So green on the week, finally. Consecutive wins in a row, finally. Really good week. I hope you all had a good week as well, and I hope you have an even better weekend. Just whether you won or lost or were green or red on the week, take the weekend to decompress. Take the weekend to study why you won and why you lost, and learn from it, and come back better and stronger next week. Just make sure to get some time off for the brain. Give the brain some time off over the weekend and come back stronger next week. So keep at it, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for any and all support, and yeah, take it easy. We'll see you next time.